This story is based on true events that took place in Amman, Jordan, in the summer of 2002. This one began like any family visit. In the summer of 2002, a family from Nashville, Tennessee, flew thousands of miles to Amman, Jordan, to spend their first vacation there in over a decade. The family consisted of 4 members: a 66-year-old father, a 58-year-old mother, their daughter Noor, 22, a university student studying dentistry, and their 15-year-old son Moman, still in high school. They stayed in the home of their late grandfather in Al Yasman, a quiet residential area on the edge of the city. They thought they were returning home. They didn't know someone or something had never left. The family arrived with excitement. Relatives greeted them warmly at the airport. The drive to Al Yasmin was filled with stories and familiar landmarks. The house stood quietly at the end of a narrow street, its walls pale under the afternoon sun. Inside, everything was as they remembered, just older, quieter, and cleaner than expected. The air was still, the rooms wide and simple. The family settled quickly, happy to finally be together again. Nothing about the house seemed unusual, at least not yet. For the first week, everything was ordinary family visits, meals, laughter. The house felt safe, if a little too quiet at night. By the end of the first week, the mother began misplacing her belongings. Her favorite perfume was gone. Then her contact lens case. 2 days later, her face cream. She searched the rooms carefully. Nothing. Each time she found the drawer or shelf empty, she paused longer, her brows tightening. She didn't blame anyone. She only said she must have moved things during unpacking. Still, the pattern continued. When Noor joked about the missing items, her mother didn't laugh. "Maybe I'm tired," she said quietly. That evening, she locked her handbag and placed it by her bed. No one in the family realized yet that the house had begun to take things. Soon after, Noor's nights changed. She couldn't fall asleep, or she woke gasping, as if her lungs had forgotten the motion. When the ceiling fan stopped, the silence grew heavier. She thought she heard faint sounds, a metal tap, a soft step, the slow stretch of wood. But each time she turned on the light, the noise ended. She told her parents. Her father said it was jet lag. Her mother looked at her without answering. Noor started keeping a small lamp beside her bed, switching it on every few minutes just to see the room remain the same. The sleeplessness was only a symptom. The cause had not shown itself yet. While my man was helping his mother bring something from the upstairs kitchen, the door suddenly slammed shut and locked with him, still inside. He rushed to the door and shouted, "Mama!" Opened the door. A moment later, she unlocked it from the outside. As he stepped out, frowning, he asked, "Why did you lock it?" She looked at him, puzzled. "I didn't," she said. It was the first time anyone in the house saw proof that they weren't alone. That night, Noor finally fell asleep near dawn. She woke to a sudden, sharp pressure on her foot, as if 2 fingertips had pressed the skin beside her toes. She sat up, heart pounding. Nothing. She lay back down. Moments later, it happened again, stronger. At the end of her bed stood a small figure. A child, maybe 6 years old, thin and gray, under the weak light from the window. The proportions were slightly off. The head too round, the eyes too far apart, the smile too wide to belong to anyone real. Noor couldn't move. Then the child lifted 2 fingers and gently tapped the blanket where her foot had been. She ran down the hall, down the stairs, straight into her parents' room, shaking uncontrollably. Her father held her and kept repeating that it was a dream, a reaction to stress. Noor didn't answer. She never slept in that room again. 2 days later, relatives came for lunch. The house was full of voices, clinking plates, and the smell of rice and roasted chicken. The noise made everyone feel safe again. During the meal, an 8-year-old cousin named Hind suddenly screamed. The sound stopped every conversation. Her arms bent sharply, her fingers locked, and her mouth twisted in a painful shape. The adults rushed to her. The other children ran. Hind's mother held her tight and began reading verses in panic. After several long seconds, the child relaxed and began to cry softly. No one touched their food again. The laughter that filled the house only minutes earlier never returned. After that day, even relatives refused to stay in that house. The family decided to leave the house. They packed in silence. The father closed the main door and locked it. No one spoke during the drive to the hotel. They would never spend another night under that roof. The next morning, 2 of their relatives returned with a Rocky, who performs ruqya using Quran. At first, they thought it was just their imagination, but when anyone came close to the house, every light inside turned on. Then, as soon as they moved away, all the lights went out, leaving the house in darkness again. But they gathered their courage and stepped inside. Later, they said the house was haunted by a family of jinn, a mother who lingered near the kitchen, and her 3 sons, 2 older and 1 younger. They had lived there for years, long before the human family returned. The youngest liked to play. Their advice was simple: leave the place in peace. Do not stay again. The family accepted it. They did not go back. From then on, the house remained silent, but never empty. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more chilling tales, and become part of the Global Dark Whispers family.